All right, so Manny, we're going to bring up a topic that you mentioned about a Boston psychiatrist that you read about, and the topic was around traits of a colonized personality, if I have that right.
Yes.
So, what I know this is near and dear to your heart and to many on our team. Could you just talk about this area and just run with it? Just give us some
Yeah.
briefs on all the pieces that come to mind in this topic.
Oh, yeah. So this is the work of Dr. Gonzalez. He's born in Puerto Rico and trained and worked in Puerto Rico most of his life. And then he moved to Boston because the economic opportunities and a zillion other things. So the book is called it's kind of like metaphorically like the emperor is not wearing clothes, but it's called the governor's suits, los trajes del gobernador, and it has to do with once upon a time the governor of Puerto Rico is telling the island that we don't have money to run the government, yet he's wearing a $10,000 uh, silk suit, custom tailored, and so it's that whole hypocrisy. But what he talks about, it's not a disorder, but it's just a personality trait. So he identifies 10 personality traits of the colonized person or persons. And I found that very impactful because it explains a lot of where we are with social policy, social injustice, and the whole relationship of money and power when it comes to marginalized people because of the relationship between Puerto Rico and the USA. Historically, Puerto Rico was property or colony of the Britain, United Kingdom, before, and then it was invaded by the United States in 1898. So 450-year-old colony. It's the oldest colony in the world. And we have this symbiotic, codependent relationship, us as Puerto Ricans with the United States, where we can just spend, 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 kind of like credit card abuse, and then Uncle Sam will bail us out. But these Uncle Sam administrations are not bailing us out. So we're finding ourselves in the struggle between independence and maintaining this colonized codependent when it comes to not just money, but also laws and self-governance or sovereignty. Are we part of you guys, or are we exploring personal sovereignty? And I think this is something that, from a spiritual perspective, we're all dealing with, living in a material world and yet seeking spiritual and personal sovereignty.
And any last comments of how this connects to um, the care of in mental health uh, scenarios and the multicultural aspects of that? I don't know if that's a helpful question, but is there something to be said about the multicultural aspect of mental health and that we all don't understand all the cultural aspects of what people go through? Is that a okay question?
Yeah, it's a complex one. At the same time, I just saw a meme last night that has like kind of like Jesus scratching his head because it says, God invented plant medicine, but the DEA controls it and says that, psychedelics are illegal. And so God is like going, wait a minute, what are you guys doing here? So I've been experiencing plant medicines, particularly ayahuasca, in the indigenous setting of Peru, um, as a rite of passage, as a cultural experience. But we're now seeing that there's a lot of cultural appropriation, and there's all this ayahuasca tourism, and and it's just the affluent populations that can afford these because it's more of a spa approach. And so when we're talking about um, whether it's purging or detoxing or even just using plant medicines, it's so controlled, and it has to run through the FDA or even the pharmaceutical filters, so it can be patented and monetized. Um, but we still have religion of freedom, sorry, freedom of religion expression. And so, thanks to that amendment, it can still be practiced here in the United States as long as it's in a set and setting of religious experience. Um, and I know
So
some people that
we'll
have
continue.
fought those
Yeah.
battles. Yeah.
What's that?
I know some people on a very personal level that have fought those battles as like church leaders.
Yeah.
Um, yeah.
As you said, it's a big topic. Just wanted to get a few notes because we have a number of people in our network that are very engaged in this topic. So we'll just hold off on that introduction and I'm going to say thank you. We'll talk again.
Thank you. Great. Thanks.